Alright, so 2-minute Tanya tidbit for today. So until now we were speaking about the idea that when a Beinoni has a struggle in his mind and he's starting to get sad about the fact that he's having these improper thoughts, he shouldn't become depressed. Because the fact that you're able to push away Kelipa, you're able to stop yourself from doing something wrong, is actually causing God a great pleasure above. When you push away Kelipa down here, you're also causing godliness in heaven to push away the Kelipa up there, and that makes a very big effect to the world. Now in today's Tanya we're going to speak that that's not only true when it comes to things which are forbidden, when a person controls himself and doesn't do something which is wrong that happens, but it's also true when a person holds himself back from doing something which is permissible, but not necessarily for the service of God. When a person stops himself from being involved in the world, and instead he focuses on serving God Almighty, that's also pushing away the Kelipa, and therefore that also causes a major effect in heaven and causes God this great joy. Now Adar A gives the example that when a person controls his evil inclination, when he wants to do something, or he has a desire to do something in this world, and he holds himself back, for example, if someone wants to eat, and instead of him eating right now, he'll hold himself back and he'll say, you know what, I'll wait an hour before I eat, even less than that. When a person holds himself back before he eats, he's pushing away the Kelipa. He's not allowing his body to be in control of himself, and instead he's allowing godliness. And so when he decides that instead of this hour, me eating, I'm going to decide to learn Torah during this time, so therefore he's replacing his service of eating or something for the world. He's replacing it with serving God. At that time he's pushing away the Kelipa and allowing godliness to shine. And therefore that causes the pushing away of Kelipa and godliness to shine as well. And this is what we find in the Gemara, that most of the world would eat in the 4th hour of the day. But the Talmidei Chachamim, the big sages, would eat in the 6th hour of the day. What was the point of them waiting 2 hours? Why would they starve themselves? It was in order for them to be able to learn Torah during that time and push away the Kelipa, just like we explained before. Even though they would also be learning afterwards. So it's not like they gained extra time of learning Torah. They were anyways learning Torah for the same amount of time. But they would push themselves off, make their body wait a little bit. And through the fact they made their body wait, they were pushing away the Kelipa, and that made a major effect as well. And the same is true not only about eating and action, but it's also true about speech. When a person holds himself back from speaking about worldly things, not something forbidden, God forbid, but even if you hold yourself back from speaking something which is worldly, which is permissible to talk about, but it's not for the idea of a mitzvah, you're holding yourself back, so you're causing the Kelipa to not be in control of you, and therefore you're also holding back the Kelipa. The same is true in a person's thought. When a person stops his thoughts from thinking about things which are not necessarily about serving God, even if there's nothing wrong with them, when you control of your mind and you're pushing away the Kelipa in your mind, you are holding back Kelipa. When a person stops the Kelipa down here, it also causes the God Almighty to hold back the Kelipa in the heaven, and therefore that causes a major revelation of godliness throughout all the worlds, which is much greater than anything else which you can accomplish. That's the end of today's Tanya. See you next time.